The Thing action. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another 31 Days of Horror. I looked at The Thing last week, and this week I'm going to be looking at the prequel in 2011. And I'm going to be comparing it to this one a lot in this review, because this movie is basically this movie done 20 years later with CGI. Basically the same fucking movie. And seeing as how you're watching this review, I already know that you know the synopsis of this movie, so I'm not going to tell you about it, alright? Alien crashes to the Earth, they find an alien breaks out, contaminates them, they have to all die. Or the whole world will die. But let's go over my positives real quick. My positives for this movie is I enjoy Mary Elizabeth Winstead. I enjoy her as an actress. I like her in almost every movie she's in, whether it's Live Free and Die Hard, Final Destination 3, Sky High. She's a good actress, and I like that this movie does try to be a legit prequel to The Thing. It does answer all the questions or all the things that you saw in The Thing, but it also answers a little too much that we didn't even need an answer to. But yeah, whatever. Back to the positives. So the creatures in this movie, the couple that we do get, it's not a complete ripoff of some of the designs that we see in The Thing, the first one. So I like the creative difference, you know, with the woman's chest opening up, except it's like a big old mouth and she's just running like, "Ugh." Guy's face breaking open. I mean, that was cool, except for the CGI. Every positive has a negative attached to it in some degree. But yeah, so let's just go over the negatives, because I was just not impressed. This movie was written by Eric Heiser, who wrote Final Destination 5. That's one movie I know from him. And this movie is basically, like I said before, a complete rip-off, scene for scene, beat for beat, note for note of the first one. Like, every little significant thing that happened in the first one does happen again. They find the ship. The only thing different about this movie is CGI. There's two females, and they go inside the spaceship. Those are the three major things that stand out that are different in this movie. And they're Norwegians, but they have to be Norwegians if you're going to continue continuity with the story of The Thing, the first one. And even though this movie is based in 1982, there's nothing in this movie that makes you feel like you're in 1982 except for music playing in Mary Elizabeth Winstead's headphones. But just like in the original The Thing, all these characters are bland Norwegians who you just don't know much about. They're all just there. They only, like, half of them don't even really get an introduction. She's like, oh, here's this person. Oh, he's gonna die. And all these people, they get picked off really quick. And she's like, bam, bam, bam. All right, you're done, you're done, you're done. It's over. It's 3 people left now. I feel like they just rush to things. Like, even the first act of this movie, it feels like it's just rushing through the motions to just get to this freaking alien. These people crash down, and then the next scene, they're out. They got out somehow. They lifted that thing out of that fucking ground, and now it's on land. How did they get out of there? And then it just skips the whole digging up the alien. Like, well, in the first thing, we get to see a picture and footage of them like sitting around celebrating. We didn't get to see that happen in this movie. I thought this movie was trying to show everything about, trying to explain everything. They didn't explain that. They didn't show them taking a picture. But yeah, this movie goes out of its way to just try to explain every little thing that happened in The Thing, the first one. It's like, the guy puts an axe in the wall, and she's like, leave it. You gotta leave it there, because continuity. And then this movie, like I say, it copies every fucking scene. Like, it copies, like, the dog eating at the cage trying to escape. We've seen that. It copies the cop that getting the blood, and we gotta test the blood. Oh, the blood's been contaminated. Like, somebody knows that they're the thing, and they don't want us to find out, so they ruined the blood samples. Now we gotta do something else. They copy the examination table scene where they carve open a thing and examine it. They copy the finding out that the cells mutate scene where they look at the thing, like, oh, the cells are mutating. Except this one's done better because of technology today. My negative for The Thing, the first one, was that whole Willem Dafoe thing where you just look at the cells mutate. It looked like a very bad Pong game, just very bad 80s graphics. In this one, it actually looks like scientific cells mutating, more professional. And then they even like have a billiard room. It's like trying to like look like that room in the original one where they have the billiard rooms. Like, so it's like trying to copy that vibe and environment. But this movie also just doesn't even have that score. It doesn't even have a good score. The score is not even memorable. It's like just a traditional cliche sound. Nothing that makes you like thrilled or suspense. This movie just felt like it was just a 100% repeat of what we already seen just Norwegians this time. It just felt like the same shit, except CGI. And I heard that this movie didn't even use CGI first. They actually used practical effects, and then at the last second, some asshole was like, we gotta use CGI, let's redo everything. And then they get to that spaceship, and there's that whole fucking tower of just jigsaw puzzle looking pieces and like Tetris pieces. What the hell was that? Explain that to me. What the hell? There's so many bad, jarring CGI parts in this movie that just take you right out of that moment because you're just sitting there going, this is horrible CGI. You're not even thinking about the monster, you're just thinking about how you're looking at a computer-generated image. Could have just used practical effects. If they could use practical effects in 1982, they can use it again and now. Just do it. The original Thing is known for its practical effects. So why would you make a sequel slash prequel, whatever you want to call this, and completely shit all over that concept with updated technology? It's like, no, that is like the #1 sin of horror movies. You do not rely on CGI. You use practical effects. All right, that is commandment #1 for horror movies. And yeah, none of these characters were interesting. I already said that. The kills very quick, very bland, very boring. They all just get like stabbed in the chest or shot. So it's like, this isn't like a Carnage movie, like, it's not creative. At least in the original Thing, we got to see a guy's arms get eaten off, guy's head split open very well. Unlike this movie where the guy's head breaks open, and it's like, it just all is CGI. It's so jarring. I feel like this movie wasn't even trying to be its own thing. It was just like this movie's existence was only to explain things that really didn't even need explaining. I mean, that was the whole beauty of the John Carpenter's movie, was having all these questions and not knowing what happened at this camp. And then this movie's like, well, we're going to take that mystique away from you. Now you know everything. So it's like, if you're going to make a movie that ruins a previous movie, don't do it. Just don't. I won't say this movie doesn't build suspense at all. I mean, there are some good scenes. They do try to make one creative addition. Instead of the blood scene, they look at people's feelings, like, oh, do they have feelings? I do, so I would survive in that case. I wouldn't be on that other side of the room. I'd be okay. But it's also just a shitty plan. It's like, not everybody has feelings, so it's like, you're gonna have a lot of suspects. It's not gonna work. It also, what are they researching that requires dynamite in the first one and grenades in this one? Like, why do they have all this equipment? But yeah, this movie just wasn't really, it wasn't bad. I just don't like how they ruined the mystique of the first one, and this movie just felt like a movie that its only purpose and goal was to just answer questions and not raise new ones or create good visuals. It just felt like a repeat almost of that movie. It wasn't anything really new. So therefore, I just don't like this movie nearly as much as John Carpenter's The Thing. So therefore, when it comes to The Thing 2011, it's not a bad movie, but if you still want to check out the awesome creatures that you do get to see in this movie, it's definitely a movie worth watching, so I would just rent it at Redbox. My Mr. Hat Award is going to go to the guy from Jigsaw. I don't know anybody's name in this movie. They're Norwegians. But this guy gets his face split wide open, and despite its bad CGI, this is still probably the most gruesome looking thing that you're going to find in this movie. So that's my Mr. Hat Award. My Mr. Twig Award is going to go to the guy who got shot in the face. Seen it, done that, boring. Just another kill that's trying to mimic the first one. Those are my thoughts on the new Thing in 2011. Have you seen this one? Are you one of the minority that liked this more than the sequel slash original? Even though that one was a remake, it's confusing. This is a prequel. Let me know what you thought about this movie compared to the other one in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this review at all or agree with me, you can hit that like button. And if you want to see more content, you can do so by clicking on my cartoon face in 5 seconds for more. And until next time, Auf Wiedersehen.